Welcome to another AMA with Kadena Ecosystem. In this episode, we will be speaking with the team from Wizards Arena. This conversation was recorded on January 11th, 2023, live on Twitter Spaces. The views and expressions in this AMA do not represent the views of Kadena Ecosystem directly and are not to be considered as financial advice. Please make sure to do your own research on the projects presented. Also, make sure to follow our account to be alerted of new uploads. Now let's get started. Enjoy. Welcome everybody to another AMA with Kadena Ecosystem. Today we have Wizards Arena. It is probably one of the largest NFT projects currently on Kadena that is fully live and functional. And I'm very excited to have Ron from their team here to talk to us about it. So we like to start off with just first a little bit of background about yourself, what you do with the team, and then I like to learn how people got involved in crypto in general. I find a lot of people have some really interesting stories. So Ron, why don't you take it away?
Yep, let's get started. So obviously I'm Ron. I'm 23. I was born and raised in the United States. I'm currently a graduate student. So I'm studying to get my master's degree in economics. What I do for the team is I'm basically a moderator and also part of a bigger team of about 11 guys that we've put together called the Wizards Council. And what we do is we just coordinate. We're kind of all equals. It's not like we're technically OGs or anything or have any benefits for being early members, but we all seem to have a strong passion for the project, and we really contribute together and put a lot of our free time into making the project a better thing. How I got into crypto was, I think like a lot of other people, it was Dogecoin. So whenever Dogecoin really pumped in, what was it, 2020 or 2021 maybe, I got very lucky. I bought in at like 5 cents and had like a 10x, and that was my first experience with crypto. So I was thinking, wow, if I could put my money into a meme coin and 10x my money, then I should just find any other meme coin and I can do the same thing. So then I found Binance and SafeMoon, just some meme coins like that, and you know how that goes. I didn't do too well. I got wrecked. And then I built a little bit on Binance. Actually, me and Christian, who's also a team member for Wizards, we built twice. It didn't go very well on Binance. I stepped away from crypto for about 6 months. And that time, Christian had found Kadena, and he reached out to me, and he actually gave me about 15 to 20 NFTs and 5 Kadena, and that really got me started. And then eventually I found Wizards Arena, and it's been a great story since then.
Awesome. It's great to hear that you were kind of lured in by the FOMO, but learned the lessons very quick that the FOMO doesn't last. And meme coins, as much as they can bring you a quick buck if they catch the right wave, that more stable things like Kadena are probably the safer long-term bets to go. That's something that I find a lot of people don't learn soon enough when it comes to crypto. That like when I got into crypto, I was looking at it at a minimum a 5-year investment. I didn't expect to see any returns for minimum of 5 years on what I was putting into it. I'm now over the 5-year mark. I have seen some ups, a lot more downs than in the things I'm investing in, but the things I'm investing in, I feel very stable about their futures, which is more important because we are so early in the crypto space that good solid coins like Kadena, it's going to be a couple more years most likely before we start to see them really take off and explode. So, but the people that are getting in now and getting in on the ground floor it's really exciting to see and where it's going to go. And especially for projects building this early in the game. So let's get into Wizards. Wizards Arena seems to be probably one of the most thought out and most active NFTs and NFT games, I guess you want to say, on the system. So, what's Wizards Arena all about? Can you give us just a quick little summary of just the story behind Wizards and what you guys are doing?
Yeah, so I guess I'll kind of start off with how it came to be. So we started with a one-man army in Ilario. Most people from Kadena know Ilario. He had one prior project, was Kadena Cacti, and he also created Cade Rare. Um, from Kadena Cacti, just due to cryptocurrency market situations and whatnot, that project has paused. So he actually wanted to experiment, and that's how Wizards Arena came to be. It was actually an experiment, and that's the reason why our first collection was a free mint, because he wasn't thinking, I'm going to grab money from people for something that I don't even know if it's going to do that well. It's an experiment for me to have fun with my developing, with my coding, with my data skills, my website building skills. I think that's really cool. And I actually think to this point, it's actually done a lot better than he expected it to.
For sure,
So,
yeah. It's taken right off. I was very I think the free mint thing was really a really smart idea to bring people into the fold and get them using the NFTs, playing with them and stuff like that. Was the idea originally from the start to build this awesome game, or was it just, hey, I like Wizards, let's make some cool NFTs and see what people think?
he definitely had the tournament battle aspect in mind, with also upgradable NFTs where you could spend a token to upgrade stats and whatnot to make your wizard more stronger for battle.
Awesome. Yeah, the Wizards, that is like I've been saying with a few different projects that are utilizing it, the whole upgradable NFTs on Kadena are one thing I feel like more projects need to utilize and take advantage of, because it's just something that is so different and so unique to Kadena NFTs that it needs to be showcased. And you guys are doing an awesome way of doing it. So let's break down a wizard. So when someone buys a wizard, what comes along with it? I see that they have different stats, and like you said, they're upgradable. Let's dive a little bit deeper into the individual wizards themselves.
Yeah, so say maybe you're scrolling on Cade Rare. There's a little bit more to a wizard than what meets the eye. So it's not necessarily about the traits, what hat he's wearing, what coat he's wearing, because he also has an element, which is his spell that he can use to attack other wizards. He has a weakness to other elements, and he also has a resistance to other elements. The way that works is if I have a fire wizard, yeah, that's his main element, and then he'll have a weakness and a resistance. Say he is weak to ice, then whenever he battles an ice wizard, the attack stat, or the damage stat rather, will be reduced by 50% if he is resistant to ice. If he's weak to ice, however, the damage stat that he would be hit with would be doubled because he's weak to that element. Furthermore, we have 4 stats currently, and we're discussing adding another one. Probably won't come for a little bit though. The 4 stats right now are HP, health points, attack, damage, and defense. The way those work is pretty much health points is like a pretty simple concept, kind of like Pokemon or really a lot of other games. That's just the amount of damage you can take. Um, You also have attack, which is your ability to hit other wizards. So if you have a low attack, you might have a lot of misses and not have a good accuracy rate. You also have damage. Damage is whenever you do hit a wizard, how much damage will it do? How many health points will it take away from that wizard? And then you also have defense, which is kind of the opposite of attack. It's how good your wizard is at making the wizard he's battling miss his attack. So all of those things are kind of things that you might not see in other NFTs, where it's not so much about how rare this NFT is, what the rarity score is on Cade Rare. It's about how strong he is. So what we've done is we've developed a level system, and there's a formula that basically adds up how good is your damage, how good is your health points, how good is your attack, how good is your defense, and it all sums it up into a level score. Right now, we have the levels capped at 300, which is another thing I'll get into in a little bit. It's kind of a anti-whale mechanism. It kind of levels the playing field, which is one of my favorite things about this project, is that you could go buy one wizard right now. He might be a very low level, but that doesn't count you out from winning a tournament at all.
Yeah, I actually think the system that's been put in place is very well thought out, and like you said, it makes more of an even playing field. And as you said, that like you can buy it, you can get a wizard, and just because it could be, in as far as trait ranks and stuff like that go, it could be a very high ranking wizard trait wise, but traits don't necessarily tell the whole story. It's more about the experience and like the level that it's at. You could have something that's very low rarity, but you've pumped it up to a 300 max level. Now let's talk about pumping up your character and how people go about doing that.
Okay, so whenever we first launched our WIZA token, it was pretty much like an end game currency. So you can think of that like maybe V-Bucks in Fortnite or VC and NBA 2K. It wasn't available on DEX, so there was no monetary value to it unless you did a P2P trade. And about, I want to say maybe a month ago, we launched it on the DEX. Before that, the only way you could earn it was participating in tournaments, or if you're a really, really awesome wizard, say you contribute by making some really nice art or making a nice idea, then you can also be rewarded with WIZA for your contributions. On our website, we have a tab. It's very easy to access for the Magic Shop. And you can go there and you can buy what's called potions to upgrade your wizard. And like I was just talking about, you have 4 stats: your HP, attack, damage, and defense. You can upgrade all of those. HP is generally the cheapest to upgrade because how do I say this? Say your minted wizard comes with a health point uh, stat of 41. There's no limit really to how high your health points can go. So those are the cheapest. And one additional health point really doesn't make much of a difference, but 10 does. The most expensive ones to upgrade are attack and defense, and that's because there's less variation in the range of attacks and defenses. If you go search on the marketplace, the minimum attack and defenses are maybe 2 or 3, and then the maximum upper range is probably under 30. So those are more expensive, and then damage is kind of in the middle of the field between those two.
Yeah, like you said, it's if you go to, if anyone hasn't already checked it out, go to wizardsarena.net. They have right on their main page is pretty much their marketplace. Click on any wizard and you'll see the stats that are based up. The lowest one right now on there is Wizard 352. It's only got a level of 159. HP is 53. Defense is 18. Attack 7. Damage 6. And then all the different spells and elements that it's weak to. And it's a really cool way of just making it so that it evens the playing field a little bit more. And like you said, it fights against whale mentality of someone who is a huge whale and decides, hey, I'm going to go to KD Swap. I'm going to buy myself, a whole whack of as much. I'm going to drain the wizard tokens out of the decks, and I'm going to go into this game, and I am just going to boost my wizards so high that I'm going to win everything. And it's kind of a cool way that it's been placed against that, so that people can't do that. So let's talk about now the battling, which is a huge part, I feel, of the NFTs and probably the coolest and most exciting part of the entire project. Now, there's 2 different ways that people can battle. There's PvP fights where you're up against just one other wizard, but then there's also the tournaments. So let's start with the PvP aspect of it. How exactly does that work?
So our PvP first started off kind of as a concept that I created. I was kind of messing around one day and I made a graphic where I just edited a Pokemon battle. Whenever you're inside of a Pokemon battle and you see your Pokemon and his health points and he's turned around because he's facing the other Pokemon with his health points. I just took one of those and added some wizards to it. And I was like, hey, wouldn't this be cool? And Alario, being the amazing dev he is, just took that and ran with it. So that's how our PvP looks now, and we kind of put our own twist on it. It's really cool, in my opinion, that whenever you go look at an NFT, it is just a 2D pixelated wizard that you just see his front side, his face, and whatnot. But in PvP, your wizard's turned around, and that detail makes it really cool. So I'll start like this. Since our PvP just recently changed, I think it was 2 days ago, we have a new system for it. At first, it wasn't using stakes or wagers necessarily. You would just pay 2 Kadena, and you would be rewarded with 1 HP and 1 damage, or maybe 60 to 120 WIZA per wizard that you enroll into the PvP. And how it worked at first was you could do as many fights as you want. I had so much fun with it. I did over 1,000 fights with my favorite wizard whenever it first came out, and it doesn't matter. I wasn't gaining anything by doing 1,000 fights other than just having fun and maybe seeing what spells work the best. Here recently, what we've added is a little bit more of a high stakes system where you're not going to want to put a weak wizard into the player versus player, because you're probably going to lose your money then. And it makes it really cool, I think. So the way that works now is you will pay a fee of 1 Kadena, and then you will choose a minimum of 30 fights. 1 WIZA token equals 1 fight. So however many WIZA tokens you put up is how many fights you'll get. And then once you go through all of those fights, at the end of the PvP week, you'll receive 2 WIZA per win that you get. This is actually about to change just today. We have a new thing called attribute points. And the way that works is, instead of being able to accumulate just a bunch of WIZA for whales that may subscribe 100 players into the PvP, we have what's called attribute points, where once you upgrade a stat, it is not permanent anymore. You could downgrade that if you want to, and then you receive an attribute point. What makes it cool, though, is you can get rid of attribute points for WIZA, but it's a pretty big penalty for it. So you should make your upgrades wisely, and you should make your downgrades even wiser, because you're getting penalized for that.
Again, that's just another example of something that you guys have. It sounds like this Wizards collective you guys have is a very smart group of individuals that have coming up with some really amazing features. And like you said, just the little things like the wizard facing away from you during the PvP battles is really cool. If anyone here doesn't own a wizard yet, but wants to see what we're talking about, Noah, who is in the channel here, just put out a video about wizards, about the recent tournament that's going on. And he shows pretty much everything about the website, shows the PvP battles and everything. And it's just really cool and really simple to use. That's one thing also I want to compliment you guys on, is that your website is very well laid out. Everything is very simple to use. You don't really have to I don't understand how to do this. It's pretty much just point and click, which is the way things need to be. It needs to be very turnkey for the user to be able to use it. So kudos to you guys on that. You've done an amazing job on that. And the PvP battles is really cool. And one thing I wanted to ask, though, about the PvP battles. So let's say I have a wizard that's at level, let's say 250. If I put this wizard in at a level 250, am I going to be battling wizards that are way under leveled, or 300 wizards? Is there a limit so that, I'm not getting, so let's say I come in even with a lower one, like a 150 wizard or something like that. I'm not going to be put up against 300 wizards and just automatically lose every time. Is there some kind of bouncing effect going on there?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. I'm glad you brought that up, because I forgot to mention that. So with our new update to the PvP format, since it has a stake into it, there's a form of wager. You could lose money out of playing it. We did try to level the playing field more. So for your example, say you enter a wizard that's level 250, you're only going to face wizards that are either 25 levels higher than you or 25 levels lower than you. For now, we're trying to incentivize and market PvP a good bit more so that we get more subscribers, because if there's only 90, maybe 100 subscribers, if you put that level 250 into the PvP, you're going to be seeing the same 3 wizards over and over and over again. So that's something that we're dealing with right now, but we're making good strides in that. But kind of to touch on, I kind of wanted to bring up how much of a rock star and just great developer Ilaria has been, because we started off with this PvP format, kind of just a concept that just came out of me making a funny graphic. And, at first you would enter in and maybe have a level 130 versus a level 300. You might even face your own wizards. So we brought that up. Bang, next day, Ilario fixes it. Now you don't face your own wizards. And then, we let it go on for a little bit, have our battles. After about 2 weeks, we decided, this should have some kind of stakes to it, and it also should be even. So, like you're saying, you're not facing wizards that are 200 levels higher than you. So, yeah. What I'm saying is the way Ilario works is we have a feedback channel, and anybody from the community can come in there and say, hey, there's this bug on the website. Hey, this is a suggestion. Hey, this is a thing that we should add to the game. And 9 times out of 10, it's done the next day. And I think that's what's really separated us from stuff. Sorry to get away from your question just a little bit, but whenever me and Christian were building in the Binance space, we noticed how much of a risk it is whenever you outsource development. So whenever you go looking on Fiverr or looking elsewhere for people, you have no idea who they are, and they are working for your project for money. What I've noticed about this project is that Ilario, me, all of the guys in our council, we are very passionate about this. Like, we love this game so much. It's so nostalgic, man. It brings me back to whenever I was a kid playing Pokemon all the time. It's so fun, and that's why I work for it so much, and that's why I contribute to it so much, because I don't look at it as a job. I'm not even necessarily trying to earn money. I think that's how all of us are looking at it, is that it's just such a good game, and we just love it a lot. But kind of get back to what you're talking about. I do want to get back to the battling. Let's talk about the tournaments a little bit. I'll give it back to you, Chris, see if you have any questions about tournaments.
For sure, that's the next spot I was going to. So we've covered the PvP thing. Now let's talk about tournaments and how it works. Obviously, people would have to own a wizard and submit into the tournament. But let's talk about how the tournaments work, and also the map, the areas in the game which are kind of vital to the tournaments themselves.
Yes, so what you're referring to is called the Wizard's World. That's a new development of ours. I'll get there. So we just had our 10th tournament today. It's actually been a busy day for us over in the arena. Ever since our new thing called the 12 League started, which is pretty much a season format where each tournament is its own tournament. So if you win money. But at the end of 9 tournaments, the 12 best wizards with the most rounds won total through all of those tournaments are going to receive prizes from the highest one. I can't think of the prizes off the top of my head, but they're distributed where the highest one gets a bigger prize, lower, like the 10, 11, 12 guys gets lower prizes. I think it might be 150 Kadena for the top prize. But yeah, so we started, and this is another thing that pops up repeatedly in this project is, it starts kind of as an experiment, and, we try some things out, and we just all work together and get it to where it needs to be. So with the first tournament, we only had like 80 wizards subscribed. And the way that worked was you battle 4 rounds, you win all 4 rounds, then you're a tournament champ. And then I think the next one was you had to win 6 rounds in a row, and then you were a tournament champ. And that tournament was a little bit more unfair, so to speak, as there was like, if you won, you got like 50 Kadena. So we immediately changed that afterwards. Ever since, we've been doing what's called a 4+2 format. So the first 4 rounds, you have to go undefeated in your battles. And then after that, the last 2 rounds are knockout rounds. So if you are undefeated through 4 rounds, then in the 5th round, you'll have a matchup. If you lose that, then you'll receive a prize, but not the grand prize, and you're not a tournament champ. You're just a 5 medal winner or 4 medal winner if you lose in the 5th round. Win the 5th round, go into the 6th round, then you're in the final round, and you're competing for the grand prize. Now, I'm going to step back a little bit and just talk about the structure of it a little bit. The way it works is, you have your wizards, you go on the website, we have a tournament page. Right now, the way that our 12 league is working is it's a season where, like I said, it's going to be in 9 total tournaments. And, you have your wizards, go to the tournament page. They're going to be every Wednesday at, it's 8:30 for my time. I believe that's 1:30 UTC every Wednesday. And, you subscribe your wizards, you pay 2 Kadena as a fee, and that all goes into a prize pool. Alario takes 20% of the prize pool. And I believe he uses some of that to put back into the project for development and whatnot. And then it's maybe 5% of that total prize pool. So 2 Kadena per wizards that are subscribed. So if there's 500 wizards in the tournament, then you have 500 times 2 is 1,000. Lario takes 20%. Then there's 800 Kadena in the prize pool. And then that gets split up to roughly, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I think it's about 10% goes to the people who've won 4 medals, and that gets split up between them, that 10%. And then 25% maybe to the people who have won 5 medals, and then 65% to people who have won 6 medals. That's the grand prize tournament champions.
The Wizards themselves, besides people being able to play in these tournaments and do the PvP stuff, there seems to be a couple other options that people can do with their Wizards. For example, you have a staking feature. So let's talk maybe a little bit about that and what that involves.
Yeah, man. So we're constantly trying to build this ecosystem and add more use cases. Obviously, always trying to add more utility, more user engagement, things that people can do with their wizards, with their wizard token. So you stake your wizard NFT. It's not hard to do. Once you buy one, say you don't own any, go sweep the floor and then click on the profile tab. You'll see your new NFT. Now, you can stake it. And it's not like a locked staking or anything. You don't have to agree to any duration. You could stake and then immediately click unstake with no penalty other than not earning rewards because it's not staked. So the way that works is kind of to talk about something we were talking about earlier, how it's not all about traits. We also have spells, and you can have anywhere from 1 to 4 spells. 4 is the max. I don't think we're ever going to expand that, but we may add a feature where you can maybe swap spells once you hit 4. And spells are not only important because not only will you have options to choose of what spell you're going to use in a battle, but also those count for how much WIZA you'll earn in rewards. So the way that works is you will receive 4 WIZA per spell, per wizard, per day. So if you have the max of 4 spells, then a wizard will earn you 16 WIZA per day while he's staked. Now, it doesn't seem like much, but once you start getting more NFTs, 10, 20, 30, you can really start earning 200, 300, 400 WIZA per day. And that's what we call farming. That's another really cool aspect of the project, is that some people aren't even necessarily caring about the battle that much. Since WIZA's been on a DEX, our ROI is very impressive for not being a mining NFT, just strictly having staking rewards. I think it was, if you were to go to sweep the floor right now and then stake your wizard, it would take you maybe 100 days to earn that 17 Kadena back in WIZA, which I think is amazing. But also, another thing to touch on, since I'm talking about those spells also come with another thing that's kind of a trait, necessarily more of a stat or a feature of the game. There's perks where, you might have a confused perk or a blind perk where maybe 25% of the time, your attack will not only do damage and take health points away from the wizard you're battling, but it also might stun them and they skip their turn or they're blinded. And that ranges from, there's some that have a 90% hit rate, there's some that have a 10% hit rate, I think, and they vary from, oh, I'm going to take HP from you, but also -3 attack 50% of the time, or I can just skip your turn because you're paralyzed. But kind of getting away from it a little bit. Back to staking. Yeah, the ROI is very impressive right now. Your wizard would pay for itself in like 100 days, like I was saying. It's a very cool feature that we have because, like I said, it's not locked. Don't feel like you're entering into something that you have to consider. It's a no-brainer to stake your wizard. You could unstake it whenever you want.
Yeah, you guys have really well thought out this whole system. The staking stuff is amazing. Like staking an NFT is something that a lot of projects should really look into, just because it keeps the people interested, it keeps them active, it keeps them coming back for more. Another cool feature you guys have, which I thought was really cool, is this burning option. Explain how the burning option works, because I feel like it's something that we haven't seen before. It is something that is very unique and something that can also be very rewarding for the users. So can you explain that a little bit in more detail?
Yeah, so kind of the utility behind burning is you receive a reward in the WIZA token for burning. So you can't burn a staked NFT. You have to pretty much unstake it and then place it in what we call the burning queue. It's pretty much a list of wizards that the owner has decided they would like to burn in exchange for a reward. Kind of another thing going along the same lines that I think was a really good addition is, so we have 3 different kinds of burns now. We have what we call our classic burn, where the lowest ranking based on rarity wizard is burned that's in the burning queue. We have a random burn where we just put all of the wizards into like a generator, like a wheel spin, like a raffle bot on Discord, and then it chooses a random wizard or cleric for us to burn. And then our new one is a level burn, where the lowest level wizard, the weakest wizard based on level, is burned. So in my opinion, I really like the rarity burn, because what that does is that puts buying pressure, that puts demand on the lower ranked NFTs, where other projects, those are the least sought after ones. Those are the floor NFTs, the ones that don't have the rare traits. They're super common. But what we did with adding that rarity burn, that we have buying pressure on our most rare NFTs, but also the ones that nobody would care about if we didn't have that feature. Touch a little bit more on the rewards. You were receiving 3,000 WIZA, plus we thought up a math equation for this. It was 3,000 WIZA plus the supply that's remaining minus rarity rank. So say you were to burn the number 1 ranked wizard, supply -1 is 2,047. You'd receive over 5,000 WIZA, which is a good bit for upgrades. And that's honestly, I think, in monetary terms, 5,000 WIZA is like over $100 easily. Math ain't mathin' right now, but I can't do quick maths on the spot. But what I'm trying to say is that's a good bit of WIZA you'd receive. And even if you were to burn someone on the lower end of rarity, you're still going to receive at least 2,000. So with our new burn schedule, it's 2,000 with that same equation I just explained. And basically the purpose of that equation is to reward people for burning better ranks. So the people with the really low ranks, you're going to receive the base 2,000 plus a couple of extra WIZA. Whereas if you were to burn a middle rank, say during our random burn, then you're going to receive maybe 3,000 to almost 4,000 WIZA.
Now, seems as WIZA token is a very large aspect of the game itself. How do people like, so if I buy a WIZA wizard off of the market, does it come with WIZA tokens, or the only way to get your foot into the WIZA token door is to throw it into and participate in a tournament? Is that, or is there, or buy it obviously off of the secondary market? But are those the only ways for people to obtain this token?
Yeah, so we have a liquidity pool on KD Swap, and obviously you can swap there. But also you can still earn it by just participating in tournaments. Um, it used to be you would get Wizard rewards for PvP, but we're trying to shift more to that attribute point perspective that I was talking about earlier, because it's more anti-whale than just giving WIZA per wizard, because if someone subscribes 100 wizards, then they can just have a whole bunch of WIZA from that. So yeah, so I was saying a little bit about this earlier, but it is an in-game currency at first, but ever since we hit the decks, it's made it a whole lot more interesting, because not only can you participate to earn, you can also buy it. And I think it's so for this tournament, we gave out 60 WIZA per wizard that you subscribe to the tournament. And sometimes, like, we had a tournament around Christmas and we did double rewards, kind of like a double XP weekend on Call of Duty, if you will. And we gave out 120 WIZA per subscriber. We also used WIZA as a mint incentive. So whenever we were minting our clerics, which was our second collection, 1024 clerics, we were incentivizing that by giving out, it was either 200 or 250 WIZA per cleric that you minted. And I think that really incentivized a lot of us to maybe overmint just a little bit more than we were planning to.
Yeah, having it so that you get some tokens when you mint for sure is going to drive more people to it just for that reason. But the fact that they can just participate in a tournament and are pretty much guaranteed some WIZA tokens is a really good way to also keep people coming back and wanting to. It's incentivizing people to participate in the ecosystem, which is something that a lot of projects I feel probably don't think about, is how do we keep people involved and keep people coming back for more? And you guys are really hitting the nails on the head here on each aspect, it seems like. So going forward into the future, you mentioned that there's going to be some new upgrades to PvP and tournament. Are there any other new features that people can really expect? And if other people, let's say if someone like myself or someone else has ideas, are you guys very open to not just collaborations, but taking ideas from the community and implementing them into the game or NFTs themselves?
Yeah, so that's actually how our team came to be. Alario started this all by himself, and every single day was reaching out to the community. We have a feedback channel in our Discord. How can I make this better? What can I do with this? I need a second set of eyes and a couple more brains thinking about this than just his. That's how our team came to be. Was we just had a couple of guys who had been there pretty much since the start, and were constantly providing good ideas, constantly helping, constantly doing anything they could do to help Alario out, make the game a better thing. So yes, we're very, very, very much open to community feedback, anything. And I honestly think that that's one of our biggest selling points is our constant development, constant updates. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, I'm a team member and I still wake up almost every day with a new feature that I wasn't expecting. There's a new announcement. There's, as the Kadena friends like to call it, it's more alpha. Every single time I open my eyes and go check the Discord, there's something new to look forward to. It's absolutely crazy how fast we move. Another thing that you were just talking about, we're actively trying to add more and more utility use cases to the WIZA token every single day, because once someone's in, once they're playing the game, we really do want to keep them engaged and have that aspect of, I want to keep playing this game. I want to get better. Even if I lose this tournament, I'm going to train my wizard. I'm going to hit the magic shop hard so that I can hit the next tournament really good and maybe win. That's what I think keeps people engaged so far is, say we were just selling art. We just had pictures of wizards and there really wasn't much utility to it. People would get bored. People would say, why am I holding this whenever it's doing nothing for me? Whereas the game aspect to it is, anybody that loves gaming, loves just having fun, knows that you can't just be a rage quitter. You can't just quit on something. You're not going to be great at it when you first start. So, if you lost a tournament, didn't do as good as you expected, maybe you should re-strategize a little bit. And that's a big part of it, is that there's so much strategy that goes into this game. I mean, I've been around since almost the start of this project. I'm a team member, and I'm going to be honest, I still pretty much have no idea what I'm doing. Like, none of us know what the best strategy is. And I think that's because the way that we've built it, there is no dominant strategy. There is no way to have an upper hand on other people. Even if you have $10,000 to throw in, you still don't have that much of an advantage. I wanted to touch on something that we didn't talk about that much earlier, but this is one of our big anti-whale things, was the introduction of the Wizards world. So the way that the Wizards world works is, you can go into our Discord and click the Wizards world channel and see a nice map that our dev made. And it has all these different locations. And the purpose of this is that tournaments are now held in different locations. So the first one was a location that on the map has like a volcano and like some mud. So the purpose of that was, the first tournament in our new season, called the 12 League, was hosted in that location. It was called Seitanor. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, Ilario, my bad. But the way that worked is, it was a land of the ash, of volcano grounds, where earth clerics rather, and fire wizards receive a boost during tournaments. So there was, I think, a certain probability, a certain chance that an eruption would happen. So the volcano in the location of the Wizards world is erupting, and that boosts earth and fire wizards' attacks and damage by +10. Now, that really, really, really changed things, and really changed the way a lot of us were strategizing, because you could put a level 150 wizard that has fire in, and he could easily beat a level 210 that is just a water wizard, because that eruption event is making those fire and earth wizards and clerics so much more stronger. The one that we just had was hosted in a place called the Witch's Grave. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it because it's it's kind of hard. But that one had an event, pretty much a windstorm, like a thunderstorm type thing, and that would boost the thunder and wind wizards. And this is my favorite, as you can see by my profile picture. That's my baby. That's my favorite NFT. That's my strongest one, and he's a wind wizard. And it was so fun for me. I subscribed all of my wind wizards, all of my thunder wizards, and it was awesome, man. It was like a Cinderella story, because I was going up against level 300s, level 290s, and I was beating them because of the event. And that was, in my opinion, one of the biggest things we've done so far to really level the playing field. And I think that's the biggest thing that we try to do, is really make sure that this game is not play to win, or pay to win, rather.
Yeah, that whole worlds thing really adds a whole nother unique layer to the game. And like you said, it makes it so that every tournament is special, and that certain wizards, no one's going to have the higher advantage over someone else. And it kind of makes it more of a level playing field, so that, like you said, the whales can't come in and just buy all these things. But it also makes you strategize a lot more and be more aware of like you said, the certain areas, because each areas have different pluses and minuses that come along with them, and people need to strategize along with it. So I think that's absolutely amazing. I can't wait to see where you guys take this, because there's so much you can do with this. There's so many different avenues that you can take. Now, right now, when it comes to people wanting to play this game, as we get farther into mobile wallets and mobile wallets having more capabilities, for example, we're working on adding Wallet Connect into and a DApp browser into Koala Wallet. Can people play right now on mobile, assuming they have a way to connect their wallet? And if not, are you looking to make it a mobile possible in the future?
Yeah, so for over a month now, it might even be 2 months, we are fully integrated on mobile. We are fully integrated with Wallet Connect, X Wallet, and we also have a Zelcore Chainweaver option whenever connecting your wallet. As far as the UI goes, it's really not much different. It really doesn't matter what browser you access our website from. That's www.wizardsarena.net. Had to plug it for anybody wondering where to find it. You can access it from any browser, man. The other night, I have an Xbox Series S, and I got on the browser on there, the Microsoft Edge browser, put up the website, and I was playing some PvP battles on my Xbox controller. It was so cool. But yeah, man, like, it's fully integrated on mobile. That took us a little bit because we did have the Wallet Connect, and then there was certain bugs where, a button might not show up on mobile where it might show up on your PC. But we've been working through those, and right now, at least for me and for majority of our members, they don't have any issues. Rather, it's on an iOS device or an Android device. It's fully integrated. The UI looks great.
That's great to hear. The more available options to people, the better. And and a lot of crypto, I feel, is moving more towards a mobile thing, because not everyone owns a computer or a PC, but almost everyone in the world has a cell phone. So being able to progress and move into those fields is going to be very important, I feel, moving forward for any project, really. This has all been absolutely amazing. I did not know much about Wizards Arena. I'm a very busy guy with all of over 100 different projects that are building on Kadena, and I'm trying to keep up with all of them. But Wizards has always been one that has definitely piqued my interest the most, because it's building and developing, and the community is growing so fast, especially in this really low bear market that we're in, that it's really amazing. And like I said, I can't give you guys enough praise for the work that you've put into it. Obviously, your developer, like you said, is absolutely amazing, but the group that you've formed around it as well, that's making these decisions and pushing the project forward, is also equally amazing, I feel. And you guys have done an amazing job. And I just can't wait. Like I said, I can't wait to see where this goes. There's so much that can be involved. After the clerics, are there going to be any other characters being moved into the game? Is there plans for another collection coming out?
We do have one more collection of 1,024 coming out. We're going to probably wait a little bit before dropping that, as the cleric mint was less than a month ago, I believe. It was not that long ago. We do have a third collection planned. It might be useful if we put a roadmap together or something to show that, but we also don't like promising things, and Alaria moves so fast that we almost don't need one. But yeah, we have one more planned, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know what they're gonna be. I can give you some speculation. There might be witches, they might be warlocks, they might be archangels, they might be freaking popes, for all I know. But I'm super excited for that. I know that I'm gonna hit that mint hard once we have it. And I would recommend anybody else that is getting into this game, the mints are a really, really, really good time to get in. Not that now is a bad time to get in, but the mints are a really good time, and I highly encourage anybody that's considering getting into the game to participate in our next mint, whenever it may be.
Awesome. I'd like to know if there's anyone listening that has any questions for the Wizards Arena or for Ron. Feel free to send in a request to speak. I see McNivert has a request to speak that I've been sitting on for a while, so I'll go ahead and approve him in case there's any, or him or her, in case there's any questions. But yeah, if anyone has any questions, feel free to send in a request to speak. I'll pull you on up here. But I've absolutely loved talking to you. I know you were a little hesitant, I think, to speak on the mic and do this AMA, but I think you did an absolutely amazing job. Everything was very clear. You brought forward all your ideas very well. And like I said, I cannot wait to see where Wizards Arena goes. I'm sure from this AMA, like I said, some people, we have had some issues with the sound and everything, but I'll clean all this up in my editing, and I'll make sure that this is posted to our YouTube, to our SoundClouds. I'll post links in your Discord as well to make sure that if anyone missed this, they can come back and listen to it again, because there's lots of really good information that you spoke of today, and I believe it'll just bring even more awareness and more to your project, which is very deserving, I believe. So thank you very much for just joining us tonight. McVert, if you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and take the mic, and we'll let them know.
Yeah, real quick, I just wanted to thank you, Chris. And honestly, I can't be more thankful, grateful for everything that KPN Uke Labs is doing. It's really a great part of the community, great part of Kadena. And I've noticed that you guys aren't greedy. You guys aren't here to necessarily turn a profit. You guys really believe in this space, and you guys do whatever you can to contribute to it and make it a better place. And that's really what we need around here. We need a lot more of that organic contribution. And yeah, like you said, I was a little hesitant. I mean, I did volunteer to kind of be the voice of the Wizards, as our dev isn't the best in speaking English fluently. So I did volunteer for it, but like a lot of people, I was a little nervous to speak. But honestly, Chris, I was awesome talking to you, man. Like, this was a great time. I'm glad we had this conversation. This was awesome. I'd do it again anytime. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for the kind words. Yeah, we're not in it to make a buck, like you said. If we were in it to make a buck, we would have put out a token or an NFT by now. But we don't have plans on doing that. We're doing this because we see the potential and we see the community that Kadena has, and we just really want to be a part of it. So yeah, thank you very much for the kind words. If you have any questions there, McNivert, feel free to go ahead and ask them.
It's McNivert, Chris. McNivert. Can you hear me?
Sorry.
That's okay. No,
Sorry,
hey, I just wanted to say hi. I've been in a lot of your AMAs. I just never got a chance to speak. So just wanted to say hi. I'm part of the council. I help the guys out, come up with ideas, and then, we throw some stuff in, throw some stuff out. Hank, I see Hank in here. I got Hank involved. I gave him a wizard. I knew. See, this is like one of those projects where you start getting involved and it's just going to take off. And it's funny because it's in such a small ecosystem. It's like, why is there not more people, in this? It's a shame that we're, one, in a bear market, two, we're in the Kadena ecosystem. It's like, this thing is 1,000 times better than any of the Ethereum projects I've ever been in. And so it's like, I just want to spread the love. It's like, I love the giveaways, love getting people involved. Hank, he's deep into it now, but no, just want to say hi and thank you to everyone, and thank you for what you do, Chris. That's it.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of touch on something real quick. I mentioned that my East German friend, Mr. Christian Catering over there, got me into the ecosystem. I saw him blowing up our Telegram that we had for our old team that built on Binance, and he was saying, guys, please come join this ecosystem. Please, I've made over 3,000 Kadena in this place. This place is awesome. Please come join me. I'll even give you some. And I mean, I'm in college. I don't have the fattest pockets. And I was like, all right, man, if you're giving away some stuff, then I'll take it. So I joined, and honestly, me and Christian discovered the Wizards Arena, and we wrote it off at first. We looked at it and kind of judged a book by its cover and said, man, this is stupid. We're not going to get into this. And we had found that because we were wondering if there was NFTs that could battle each other, like the tournament fight aspect. And when we first found it, it didn't look that good to us. And then about a week later, I reached out to him and I was like, hey, man, we were completely wrong. Okay, this thing is awesome. And I didn't necessarily fall in love at that moment. It was whenever I swept the floor and I bought a wizard, which is my profile picture now. I got him for 7 Kadena, and then he won the 6th tournament. And that was whenever I fully realized, really had the realization that this is completely anti-whale. Anybody has a chance to win. Even if, you only win 20 Kadena from the tournament, there's no other feeling like winning the tournament. Beating out the other wizards. Your wizard won. I mean, if you look closely at my profile picture, I keep talking about it. I put a medal on him because I'm just so proud that I've won tournaments. But yeah, man, that was whenever I really fell in love, was whenever I had the full realization that this game isn't stacked against me. This game's built for me.
Yeah, like I've been saying, it's an absolutely amazing project, and the whole team has done an amazing job, both the developers and your council, everybody. And where it's going to go from here, it's just going to be upwards and onwards. So I want to thank everyone for joining us today. I want to thank Ron for taking his time out to chat with us today, and everyone that participated. Like I said, if you haven't been involved with Wizards Arena, go check out their website, wizardsarena.net. Join their Discord, get involved with their community, and yeah, I want to thank you guys for joining us. It's been absolutely amazing.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chris. I really appreciate it a bunch.
No problem. So thank you, everyone. Hopefully everyone has a great day. And like I said, check out Wizards Arena, wizardsarena.net. Join their Discord, follow their Twitter, and get involved. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining, and everyone have a great day. That wraps up another amazing AMA. Thank you for listening. Here at KPN, we strive to bring an open platform for projects being built on Kadena to present themselves to the community. Please ensure to do your own research on each project before investing. Also ensure to follow us on all our social media, from Twitter to subscribing to our weekly newsletter, to ensure to keep up to date on everything KDA related. You can find all the links in the description below. Take care.